This video is brought to you by Paragon, my own original sci-fi novel coming February this year. Well, that was an absolute blast. Star Trek Discovery is back, and its first episode was the bomb. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and I am so hyped for what's to come next. From the first trailers of this season, I was really glad the plotline wasn't just going to be another faction being the bad guys. Instead, we have something really intriguing and mysterious while also being fascinating. Presentation-wise, this is still the best Star Trek has ever looked. The production design, VFX, costumes, makeup effects, it is all stunning, and every frame of this episode is a visual feast. The change in aspect ratio also makes it look more cinematic than ever, and I love it. I also have to give props to Jeff Russo's music, which seems to be a step up from the previous season. While I still think the theme tune could be improved, there was some great leitmotifs throughout the episode which really stuck with me. The presentation also complements a more confident and self-assured feeling show. Season 1 often felt like it was struggling to really find its groove. It wanted an overarching serialized plot in the form of the Klingon War, but it's clear the writers were more interested in some wacky, pulpy sci-fi ideas, and the two didn't always mesh. But here the story feels more focused and deliberate. The mystery surrounding these signals, Spock's connection to them, and the angelic-looking creature Burnham sees is the perfect hook. While the plot of the episode is a thrilling adventure with exhilarating set-piece action sequences, the rescue operation and navigation around the asteroid was thrilling from start to finish. It was really cool to see that Discovery hasn't used up all of its bag of tricks with the inclusion of these small pod ships. I really like them. I also want to give props to the cast, returning and newcomers. Much like the story, the actors feel more comfortable in their roles. Their personalities and their motivations have all been figured out by now, and as an ensemble they're all getting good material. Burnham's personal connection with Spock looks promising, Tilly adjusting to her new responsibilities, Stamets wanting to leave the ship, Saru's desire for command will no doubt clash with Pike's presence, all really good stuff. Anson Mount also nails Captain Pike. His performance clearly drew a lot of inspiration from Bruce Greenwood's version in the Kelvin timeline. A sense of command, gravitas, but also a regional humour and charisma which makes the character a really enjoyable addition to the cast. I also really liked Jet Reno, a super talented engineer whose isolation has given her a dry sense of humour which is executed perfectly. I really hope we see more of her in later episodes because Tig Notaro made an awesome first impression. In general, there was so much more charm on display here. Being more settled as a crew, it brought a smile to my face to see characters taking friendly jabs at each other, getting giddy over some new scientific discovery, and overall their stronger chemistry adds a lot more fun to the viewing experience. Star Trek has had some trouble handling large ensemble casts in the past. For example, previous shows rotated the protagonists with each episode, while the movies often sidelined a huge chunk of the cast in favour of 1 to 3 main players. But here there's juicy material for the big names, and chances for the minor characters to express their personalities in cool ways. In general, I thought this was a terrific season premiere, and it seems like Discovery may be able to find its stride faster than previous Trek shows. I hope this season is able to stick the landing a little smoother than Season 1 though. But I'll give it an enthusiastic thumbs up, and I'm super excited to see what comes next. Dallum Reviews Who asks, what's a science fiction show you find overrated and or underrated? I can't really think of one which is overrated right now, but in terms of underrated shows, I want to give a shout out to Roughneck's The Starship Trooper Chronicles. I love the first Starship Trooper movie, and this animated show was really good toned down version of similar ideas. The animation is really dated by now, but the vocal performances are really good, there's some great action, and the music is really cool. I'd highly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Also, I haven't seen this one, but I've heard that Space Above and Beyond is a super underrated great sci-fi show. I'll get around to watching that at some point and maybe make a video about it if I think it's worthwhile. If you like my videos, subscribe and hit the bell icon to stay up to date on all my new uploads. Over on my Patreon, you can see videos up to a week early for as little as $5 a month. Speaking of such, I'd like to quickly thank my patrons: Andy Luke, Chris Lord, James Vanderhaeg, L. Carton, Larry Bennett, T. Stoney, and Millie Coleman. Until next time, have a good one, and as always, live long and prosper.